What's up, you guys? It's Dito D. I'm very happy to be bringing you this review for the new Toxic Avenger movie that I went to go see yesterday. I had a really good time. I grew up on these movies, and when I first started off, I thought it was some of the weirdest stuff I had ever seen. And when I was in the theater with this crowd, I kind of feel like they were getting that feeling too. I was laughing the whole way through the movie. Everybody else wasn't really laughing. There weren't too many people there because I went early in the day, but the people that were there, they weren't laughing too much towards the end of the movie. I think they started to catch on to what it was they were watching, and since they were already having a good time, then they just opened up, started laughing a little bit, and that was great. That was good because the jokes, it is so funny. I laughed through this whole movie. Okay, it was insane. The trauma jokes were all there. Everything was trauma. Now, the funny thing about where they live at, it's not called Traumaville. It's called St. Roma's Village. But the sign is faded. So you mostly see Traumaville, right? That's hilarious to me. The town actually seemed like, this time around, a place where people might be able to live at, because in the old Tromaville, it was like, how in the world is anybody supposed to ever live here? But in this Tromaville, they address people getting sick from all this toxic waste and stuff, even though the place looks like it may be a little bit more livable than the other version. The toxic waste is still a big problem. And somebody sets out to expose the people behind it all, and it leads to a situation that Peter Dinklage's character Winston goes gets caught up in and turned into the Toxic Avenger. I saw people saying online that when they saw the transformation scene that had been leaked, not leaked, but put out, that it wasn't in line with, like, it didn't pay give homage to the old transformation because it was such a big deal in the movie. And what you see from that, what was released, is what you get. You don't go into a big drawn out transformation like in the original movie. So that is different. But it's okay. It's okay because this is a different person. We're used to Toxie and Claire, or Toxie and Sarah. I like to remember Claire, but we're used to Toxie and Sarah being a thing. He has his blind girlfriend. We do meet the blind woman in this movie, but they switch it up, and so that was different. Since is a person that, he has a wife. She passed. He's got a son, which is his stepson. He's doing the best he can to be there for his son. So that's the connection that we have there. It's not him and the girlfriend, it's him and his kid, played by Jacob Tremblay, who is always enjoyable, such a good young actor. And he's going to go places. He's doing very well. Elijah Wood was a treat. Elijah Wood, I feel like he's just having a blast with his career. He's doing things that he just doing what, he's just having fun, and he did a good job in this. I thought he was the main villain, but what he is the brother to the main villain. He's the little brother to the main villain, which is played by Kevin Bacon. And Kevin Bacon is always enjoyable. I'm a big fan. I love the Bondsman. I can't wait for season two. And every time we see this dude, it's just, I mean, he just brings it. You know what I mean? Remember he played the villain in an X-Men movie? That was insane. And it was incredible. You know what I mean? But Kevin Bacon is dope. So you got Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon, Jacob Tremblay, and Taylor Page. Taylor Page, she played Eddie Murphy's daughter in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, which I love too. But this trauma movie, see, as a trauma movie, this movie was so good. You know what I mean? Because it's like trauma with a budget, which is a lot of people's biggest nightmare. I love it because this is just the way that it was supposed to look a long time ago, with them putting a little bit of money behind this stuff and actually doing something cool with it. There's a lot of cool shit in this movie. You know what I mean? And it's just a really entertaining, fun time to hang out with Toxie and watch this whole thing take place. The story is good. Everything is good. I want to get a movie a 10. and I'm probably going to, because it's a trauma movie, and it's a wonderful trauma movie. I see that they ranked the Toxic Avenger movies, uh, and I don't. This one wasn't the top one. It was one of the. I think Citizen Toxie was the first one, which I hadn't seen until recently, and that shit was batshit insane. Okay, so yeah, I can understand why they made that the top one, but this movie was insane too, and it's a new take on the Toxic Avenger, and I want to give it a 10, and part of me is like, just give it a 10. But there's a couple things that I was like, oh, I wish that had been a little bit different. It was kind uh, of a lull, but those moments were so small that it still is in the nines. And at this point, it is the highest movie I'm ranking right now at 9.3. I'm sorry, not Citizen Toxic, but the Toxic Avenger 2025 is an excellent movie because of what the the line it is following. It's a trauma movie, and it's an excellent trauma movie. And it's the way, if you're a fan, this is the way you've always wanted to see trauma in all its glory, with some money behind it, with some good jokes, and some just slightly better effects. The low budget stuff was kind of the draw in the older movies, kind of like those old Godzillas. I know a lot of people grew up on those old Godzilla movies. I didn't. I grew up on trauma movies. So seeing this be turned into, like, basically when Godzilla 2014 happened, I'm feeling that all over again. So I'm very happy with this. I hope they continue the series, because a lot of these stories, even though the characters may not show up in the other stories, the stories still connect because they take place in Traumaville. So I hope we get more Saint Roma's Village movies or Traumaville movies. So with that being said, I just want to encourage all of y'all to get out and go see this movie at the theaters, because it's an experience. You know what I'm saying? If you've never seen Trauma before, then take yourself out and treat yourself to this, just to get an idea of what it's like. Then you could go home, go to Tubi, and watch all the shit, you know? So thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening. If you a fan of Toxic Avenger, you're going to be real happy. If you never heard of this dude before, go check him out and be surprised. Be pleasantly surprised. So thanks again for your time, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take it easy.
That was just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say, self-defense,